Hello, today we are back and we're doing a fill. So as you can see, I'm just taking off my polish. This was Grapefruit Sparkle by CND, really pretty shiny, like sparkly color. Here I'm just switching out that bit for a smaller cuticle bit, and I'm just cleaning up around the nails and getting all the dead skin off of the nail plates. Here you can see me filing like the surface of the nail plate down a little bit more just to thin it out, so it's not too bulky, and kind of just cleaning up and crisping the edges of the nail. Here I'm just switching out the cuticle bit for a fine grit sanding band, and I'm going to take that sanding band around the cuticle and just clean up the cuticle on the acrylic. Make sure I get all of that gel polish off, and I'm going to go in and file away any, if any at all lifting. I do have some minimal lifting, but it's not crazy, which is good, which means my prep is getting a little bit better. So I'm just going to go in there and clean that up. Here I'm just sprucing really quick with 90% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to cleanse, and I'm using a lint-free wipe just to make sure I get all the dust and whatever out of all the nooks and crannies, so I don't have any lifting at all for next time. Alright, here's the fun part with all the acrylics. So I have a number 10 Kolinsky brush from Kiara Sky. I also have the Kiara Sky EMA monomer. I just got this stuff and I absolutely love it so far. And then I have the Cover Pale Pink, I think it is. Yes, powder from Kiara Sky. That's what I currently have in my nails now. This is my second time using it, and I am in love with this. I've had some allergic reactions to certain monomers in the past, but I haven't had a problem with this one. It is HEMA free, which is good because I was looking for one, and it just works really well. I love it so much. Here you can see that I spill monomer all over the table. So I ended up doing that off camera because it was just clearly way too difficult for me, obviously. So that was definitely a struggle. So here I have my monomer. I'm just dipping my brush in and getting it wet. And yeah, this color is like really perfect for like a French base, like that French pink color. Definitely, I would recommend that. So here I'm showing you my Valentino Superbond primer, and actually I mixed my dehydrator myself. So this is actually 50-50 alcohol and acetone, and it works better than any other dehydrator I've ever bought or used. Like, it works really well, so I'd recommend that if you don't want to spend a lot of money on dehydrator. I feel like this works like literally just as well. Just make sure that it's like just acetone and just alcohol. Some alcohols have like, for nails, have like aloe or something in them to, like, whatever. You just want straight up alcohol because that's gonna affect lifting if there's anything else in the alcohol. Here I'm just going in and priming the nails. You want to make sure not to get this on your skin. That's not recommended. And then just let that dry for a few minutes before you go ahead and apply the acrylic. Here we're going ahead and starting with the acrylic application, and I just want to go ahead and explain the way that I do this because I know I have never seen anyone else do it this way, but this is just what works for me. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my bead of acrylic, and I'm going to place, I work in very, very small beads, so a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in by the cuticle because that's really all you need. But I do end up putting more than what I actually need. So as you'll see, the nail looks very bumpy. It doesn't smooth out the way that some people think it should. I don't know if that makes any sense. But basically, so here you can kind of see me point to that like curved bump right there, and I'm gonna add a little bit of acrylic just to smooth that out because I don't want to file off what I already have on the nail. I just want to smooth over the new stuff that I'm putting on. So I added a little bit more just to kind of smooth that out, and then you'll see when I go back and file that it's all going to become very even, and you know, it's gonna float together, trust me. As you can see, I kind of did the same thing I did on the thumb for all the other nails. I just made the cuticle a little bit thicker than the rest of the nail. Like I said, I'd rather have a little bit extra to take off than have to go back and put on more because I feel like that's more inconvenient than having to go back and file some of it off. So as you can see, my technique for doing cuticles and making sure that they're all straight is kind of just letting gravity do the work for you, and by placing the bead and kind of letting it flow down, you can see what I mean a lot better on like a fresh set, because I would have to add more at the cuticle to cover the nail. But that's just how I prefer to do it. So here I'm just going in with the sanding band. I didn't know this was out of frame, I'm so sorry. So I'm just going with the sanding band and kind of sealing the cuticle, cleaning it up. I ended up doing a lot of the filing and shaping off camera just because I just could not get a good angle and whatever. Like, I just kind of struggled with filming at this time, but that's, yeah, you can see me kind of struggle at it on camera, but I show the end result and you can see what I mean when I say that everything will be evened out later on. Okay, so now I'm going in with a cuticle bit. It's like a flat tip cuticle bit. and that's just gonna help me seal the cuticles in a little bit better. I actually think I switched it out for a thicker flat tip bit just because this was not doing it for me. I'm not really a fan of the super skinny ones because I feel like it takes me forever to do what I need to get done. So, but I still wanted to show you that one because, you know, in case you need it, it's there, you know. So now I'm just dusting off the nails, getting rid of all the dust and everything, and I'm just gonna go in and buff. And for me, buffing is very important, especially if you're gonna add nail art, because if you don't buff the nail enough, you'll still have those deep, like, kind of like cuts in the nail from filing with a harsher grit file. And then your gel polish or whatever you're using to decorate will bleed, and trust me, I know because it's happened before and it makes a mess and it sucks. So just make sure that you buff the nail really well, especially if you're going to add nail art. Here, as you can see, I'm just going in and crisping up and cleaning up the edges. A couple of the sides of the nails were a little bit overfiled, so I just went in and fixed that, as you can see, and just made sure that everything was nice and uniform before I deemed it finished. And here's kind of a weird cut, but this is the finished product. I took this a little bit after I was done, but I hope you guys liked the video. And I'm going to be doing a nail art look on this fill, so stay tuned for that. Thanks!